Hey everyone, Michelle here from Scrappy Soul Sister. Thank you for joining me today. I am working on some swatches, and so I thought it might be fun to share the process that I'm going to be using. And I am going to be swatching the Simon Hurley Solar Sprays, and so I just picked these up from My Little Scrapbook store just a few weeks ago, and I haven't really had a chance to play with them yet. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting these on swatches so we can see what they do. Now, you're probably familiar with solar sprays, but just to break it down a little bit, they are going to really show up on black surfaces, and so I went ahead and made some black cards. I did cover these with black gesso, and so like if you're doing your swatches, how I approach it is I want to use the same material that I'm going to use when I'm working on projects. And so I'm mainly a scrapbooker, and so I am going to use cardstock, and then usually if I'm using some sort of wet medium, I'm going to cover it with gesso, and so that's what I did here. And so I also cut out some white butterflies because it can work, of course, on white. It just is not going to show up as brightly, or it's going to be very subtle. And so I cut out some butterflies that I'll just attach to my card so we can see how they look on white as well as black. I went ahead and already made some labels for them with their names. And I pulled out a few things that, again, I would typically use with them. So I'm going to stamp my tags first with white, and then I'm also going to use texture paste through a stencil on a portion of them. And yeah, oh, and I also have like just a verbiage stamp that I will use in black on the butterflies. And so I'll do most of this live, but I will cut out portions where I'm doing multiples of the same thing. I'll show you the first one or two, and then drying time and all that, I will cut that out as well. So let's get started. So I think first of all, just to talk about the sprays one more time, the colors that I'm going to be working with are the Golden Hour, the Beluga, Crocodile Tears, Overheated, Cross My Heart, and Royal Flush. And so first of all, I am going to get some white onto my tags. So if you find that you're not using your mixed media products, the first thing I would ask you is, have you swatched them? Because if you just have a bit of a play with them, sometimes that will inspire you. You can have your swatches out somewhere where you can see them really easily. And then also, you know, swatching them helps you get over the, you know, how do I break the page kind of fear that we can have with new product. Okay, so with the butterflies, these are also on gesso covered paper, and you know, typically lots of times I will either use gessoed or Vicki Boutin foundation paper. Since Vicki Boutin's foundation paper isn't as available as it once was. Now, it seems like I saw maybe scrapbook.com has something similar. I haven't used it, so I can't say one way or the other if that's correct or how it works. And so I did use gessoed paper here. And just keep in mind, if you're swatching and if you're doing the same thing, that because it's gessoed, it is going to need a little bit more drying time for your stamped images. And I wanted to use black on these butterflies just to help give those solar pastes something dark to show up against. And so I am using permanent ink for the butterflies, close to my heart, black permanent ink pad. My white one, of course, is pigment based, and so it might run on us. We will see how that works out. I'm not going to get a ton of liquid on here. I'm not going to be adding water per se, though once I'm playing, that might change. We'll see what happens here. So I'm going to let them all dry for a bit, and I will be back. Okay, so my next step is going to be adding the texture paste. And I am just going to use this honeycomb stencil and just do a couple at a time. All right, so while those are drying, let's go ahead and do the butterflies. And so on these, I'm just going to do, a spray, and then I will try to do a little bit of splatters if there's any room on them where it looks like you can tell the difference. And so first I'm going to start with the golden hour. I'm going to shake that up so you can't see any of the product sediment on the bottom. And let's go ahead and give that a spray. And see how well you can see it against the black. And we'll let that dry, but it's going to be very subtle on the white. And I will go ahead and let that dry before we try to do a little bit of splatters and see if that is visible at all. And on this one, this is the beluga. And maybe I'll try to just mask it with my finger a little bit. So we have a little bit of dry spot on this one for some splatters. And you can really, you can see it a little bit in the light. You can just catch some of that shine and glitter. So pretty. This one is the Crocodile Tears. And I'm going to do the same with this. I'm just going to block a little area. I'm going to go ahead and try to remember to wipe up my nozzles just to help keep those from blocking. This one is the overheated. So this one is more of the orangey red. There we go. can, see how you can see it a bit more on the stamped black ink than you can on just the white paper. Then the Cross My Heart, which is more of a pink or a pinkish red. Let's see. Definitely a pink. And I wonder how much if you can, you can pick up a bit too. I probably should have done that on the others, but there we go. And I really just didn't think I had enough room on these little butterflies for that. This is the Royal Flush. Okay, so there are my white ones, and we will let those dry. All right, these I think are dry enough now, so we're gonna try just a few different quick things. Get this going. So first of all, I'm just gonna spray on here. And of course, if you don't like the look of spray, you can always just smoosh it on there. And I am going to add just a little bit of water there, just to soften it up a little bit. And then I want a little bit more on the white portions. I'll go ahead and splatter a little bit, but I think I'll probably come by again after they're dry, just to see, to pick up that splatter just a little bit more. And you can see, obviously that ink is a pigment ink, so it does react to water just a little bit. So I just dabbed that up a little bit. So let's set that one aside to dry. And the beluga. Such a pretty color. And I don't think I'm going to add water to this one. Just take a look at how it dries on its own. Add a few splatters. All right, so that's how it looks through a stencil. I actually had meant to do that on the others and I forgot, so maybe I will do a second go through with the previous color tags. And so it, you know, stays pretty stable. I tried to pick a stencil, you know, that had some openings but also had some thinner areas just to see how it did with both of those different openings. All right, so here we are with the dried first application. It's so sparkly, oh my gosh. And you can kind of see it covers up the texture paste just a little bit when you hit it with the light, but when you're looking at it flat, it is still really white. So I think I am just going to go ahead and do a few splatters. Maybe just a little bit more. There we go. And then I will have my butterflies. So they'll probably go on something like that. And this one is, which one is this? Royal Flush, right? So that is what my final tags will look like. So I will keep these with my sprays so I can reference it. Thank you for joining me. I'll have some close-ups here at the end. I encourage, you know, anyone, whatever style of swatch you like to do, to swatch your products. That'll help you use them. So if you like the content, go ahead and hit like or subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you who watches my videos. Have a great day, and I will see you on the next one.